Awful. Awful. I mean, I suppose we just get into it. I know we have a couple people in here. Yeah, Calabria, awful. Hey, Anthony. I guess we'll let a couple more people filter on in, but my goodness, what a disappointing game that was. Disappointing result. Can't even take the possible draw with it. I mean, just miserable right now. If you're neutral, that was an amazing game to watch. However, if you are a Milanista, terrible. Honestly, I'm not sure how many people could really just come away being positive from this. I don't think many people are, if we're being honest. Santangelo's not going to be here, so unfortunately for that. So yeah, I mean, let's talk about it, everybody. Who else is in here? No, John, you can't really expect anything from Milan at this point. I don't really care about who's missing, who's playing at this point in time. The fact is this: Milan came into a must-win situation, in my opinion, for the results that have been just happening midweek, not midweek, just yesterday with Juve and Napoli, and then this morning with Lazio. Milan picking up 0 points when they had the draw. Calabria's red card was an absolute farce, not because of the call itself, because of what Calabria's decision making is. You simply can't get sent off in a situation like that. You also can't do it when there's virtually no defenders. Santi Jimenez is going to be someone that gets called up instantly. You have to hope Kier or maybe another center back or Simic has to get put in that position. This is a real issue right now. There's a lack of quality. Don't really care if the idea is to bring back Gabia on loan from Villarreal, and the same goes for the Juan Miranda substitution. This team needs strikers, it needs goal scorers, it needs capable center backs and defensive midfielders. I mean, the midfield today was atrocious, really bad, just lifeless. I thought a lot of them, the playmaking was lacking. I think decision making was probably the more glaring issue, if anything. Just instances with Ruben Loftus Cheek not sending a cross into Giroud. I think there's just so many different things. I mean, Chukwueze non-existent, getting subbed off for Jovic. Jovic actually producing again. You can't really harp on him too much. But my God, this is just the sort of lifeless performance that helps you think, when is something going to change? When is there going to be a drastic change that you say to yourselves, all right, this clearly isn't working. We can't keep rocking with the same amount of people like we have been at this point in time. Something has to change. You're at risk to finish fourth in the Champions League group. Really depends on what happens against Newcastle. But I mean, really, if we're just looking at everything here, good game from the attack. I wouldn't necessarily agree with that. I understand where you're coming from, but there was not a consistent performance over the 90 minutes where the attack was creating and scoring chances. Um, I didn't see that, Andy. I hope he wouldn't do that. I'm sure it was just out of frustration, but either way, cooler heads have to prevail. But you're not getting that from him. Um, and again, here, what do we have? This team and manager above all. I think it's a lack of quality players. I think it's a lack of great managerial prowess. I think Pioli has really been really poor. Um, and I mean, like 11 selections, like what is he supposed to do in this scenario, right? Like if you're asking the manager to do more in this situation, you kind of have to ask yourself as well, like, what is he supposed to do? I can't tell you. I can't tell you what he's supposed to do. Like, is he supposed to make sure Calabria doesn't play so awful? I mean, he's partially to blame for some of these injuries, but I also don't think at the same time he's having us play great football. Um, it's really shocking. It's going to cost him his job. Eventually, I don't think it happens right now. I think that's something that happens at the end of the season. So for that in general, I don't see how Milan come on the other side of this looking good in this situation. I think it's just a top four team and nothing more. Matt and I have said forever that this is that type of, level for this squad, but they're not going to get rid of the manager. Conte's not an option. This ownership group isn't a group that's going to just wipe the slate clean and just hire top candidates. They're not going to invest a lot of money. So for anyone who kind of wants wishful thinking for this to be a quick turnaround, it's not going to happen. Excuse me. So with that, I think that's ultimately the scenario in which we have to live under, is that nothing's going to change in the immediate future. Any massive changes that you would hope for, in my opinion, from what I understand from this ownership group and what we've seen based off of their actions and the way they carry themselves, no drastic changes. You're just going to see some report come out after the match saying the management is upset, but there isn't going to be an immediate change at that position. So again, let's see. We have some comments here. Like, subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. I know it's some rough times as fans, but if you could still support me, that would be great. I'm still not able to stream and do as much as I would like to in the past, but I'm still here for match days for the time being. Let's see. We were getting linked. Yeah, but yeah, they're never gonna sell Calabria in that. We're getting linked to a striker who's kind of burst onto the scene in his mid to late 20s. So not overjoyous about that. He's turning 28 in March. Can't understand why Simic can't get a chance. I just don't think he's gonna thrust him into a game against Atalanta. Hi kindness, how are you? I agree, Anthony. Guys, subscribe to Old Heart Rossonero. One of the better accounts on here. Bro, horrible. Not even like remotely like proud. I'm just doing this because I know people want to vent out frustrations. I want to just enjoy my Saturday. I'm like very groggy still. I'm still trying to drink coffee at this point in time. We need a proper defensive midfielder. Yeah, wanted that, screamed that over the summer. Krunic sale might accelerate something like that. Do you have any hopes against Newcastle? I mean, there is some hope against Newcastle. Maybe Rafael Leao recovers. You get a result, but it's not what hinges on that. What hinges on that is Dortmund also beating PSG, which is unlikely. I think when we look back on this 11, we're going to say there's not much blame to go around with Pioli, but like you see and watch how the match unfolds, and it's terrible. It's just terrible. I don't even care who you guys blame at this point. If you want to blame the players, the management, the owner, or whatever, the fact is this: Milan didn't do a nowhere near a good enough job to win this one, and it starts with like stuff with like Calabria's red card, just the last thing that you need from your captain in an instance like this. You cannot go and get a second yellow card when the threat wasn't even that great in that moment. You're at the middle of the pitch. Like, just drop back and defend. If you're Milan, you score that second goal, and I know I was saying grab another, go for the win. Even if you're not feeling confident in certain situations, drop back, get behind the ball, defend. What they're doing there in that instance is just a microcosm of how silly they are in matches like this. This team, I know they didn't blow a lead in this one because they never got the lead, but you have to hold on to a result. And a result being a 2-2 draw, you have to do everything to get that result at that point. When you're playing so terrible, Atalanta should have scored 5 goals today. 5-6 goals. CDK, I mean, CDK played well against us. Outside the horrible finishing, he's positioning himself well. He sent in a good cross that was for the second goal on the Lookman goal. And I don't care if the first Lookman goal was this deflection and it went in favor of them. They missed one of the worst chances of the season. It doesn't matter if they got lucky on that one. We were lucky they didn't score those chances. So with that kind of devil's advocate efficacy being tossed around, it doesn't matter. Milan weren't good enough. How many times do you have to say that? Way too often, right? Um, I don't think they're going to be out of the big four, top four come February. I still think they're making top four. I think this result sucked, but I still think they're making top four. I can. Juve right there for me. They're the best defensive setup in the league, in the actual league itself. Meaning, like when a team needs to not concede throughout an entire match, and you needed someone to bet like 90 minutes, like to not get conceded, you would pick Juve. Is it the most attractive football on the planet? No. Are they the best team that I've seen? No. But they play once a week. They have some talent and they're organized. So I think that equates to results, and that's going to continue to happen for them. Um, the ref was very spotty today. I think he kind of lost control right at the start of the match when he wasn't calling certain things. CDK shows up. Yeah, I mean, listen, it's just he didn't know where to play him. Joe, you're 100% right. You have to play for the draw in this instance. Even last year, when Milan were down 1-0, they got the goal. Benacer scored. It hit off the far side post, curled it in. Just take the result. Just take the result. Yeah, and John, yes, thank you. I'll give myself a pat on the back, and thanks for reassuring me on that. You can't expect a side like this to like fall out of the top four if you actually watch the rest of the league. Seriously, like they are not a feared league like they were last year. In my opinion, I think like Fiorentina, Roma, like these are like squads, not very good. Bologna is more impressive just because of their expectations, but the Napolis, the Lazios, and again, even Atalanta are not that top of a side. I think Milan missing their best player. I think Milan also missing key center backs where they're playing guys out of position. It's a totally different ball game. But I will say the players that are healthy, starters, and should have been good enough were the midfield today, and they were the biggest embarrassment on the pitch outside of Calabria's red card. I think Tomori was really woeful again today as well. Again, not having a true center back at that position. Florenzi's not a left back. Just there are so many domino effects to other players being out and also players just not being good enough in certain positions that this is what happens. It's really, 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 really bad. Joe, De Zerbi is not coming. Our attack is average, I would say, when we have to line up like this. If you get Pulisic on the right, Leao's on the left, don't love Giroud or Jovic long term, but there's something there. They need to get a striker in. I think there's a chance that they take a risk on somebody. We're going to be talking tomorrow with Elijah Newsom, huge Newcastle supporter. It does a bunch of great content, went on his channel after Tonali got sold, to go and discuss all this. Oh, and by the way, guys, we do have a Twitter now for the podcast. So again, if anybody is interested in following that, all you have to do is follow at that Milan Pod on Twitter. Okay. I will try and also bring that up. I have my ticker right here with that. So I'll have this going at this time. And Twitter oops, where is this? Oh, I'm so tired, guys. Let's see. Milan isn't winning a thing either. But no. The people, I don't think. Oh, winning in the air either. Sorry, that's how shot I am. Yeah, no, I agree with you, and I think that's like a lack of like the players that they have at the back too. I mean, like Florenzi and Calabria, you're not expecting them to win aerial duels. It was part of a big reason why they wanted Sven Botman as well. We'll see. Newcastle's missing Nick Pope. They have some injuries. How many staff in Milan who handle injury problems? This is just go back and watch any episode, Hannah. Go back and watch every single episode on this channel, and you'll hear that be brought up as a discussion. I'm happy for Pulisic getting an assist. I mean, silver lining here, just trying to pat Americans on the back with this. I really don't have anything else to say when it comes to that. But yeah, I mean, listen, we're talking about a situation in this scenario which uh now, there's more and more pressure growing for Redbird by the day, and it's going to affect them negatively. Uh, I will say that I appreciate everybody now. If you guys haven't already, please like the video. Everyone who comments is a subscriber, so I've changed that to subscribers only for comments on live streams, just to get more subs. That's all. You guys don't have to pay anything. I don't charge anything. If you want to be a member and help just contribute to some of the stuff that we have to pay for when it comes to um, just content in general, just the YouTube to get to pay for StreamYard and to pay for Canva and just the programs I use for all this stuff. It's just $1 if you want to become a member. If not, you guys watching for a while or even watching the replays of the streams and all that, that just helps as well. So again, even if you don't donate anything, it's not the end of the world. Just please watch for a good amount of time, and that helps. I think it is good to see Jovic building more confidence. Yeah, I know it was weird, but we take those. We take those, Morton. We have to. The one time we had an entire week to prepare for a match, and I agree. I also think this is something that you see a consistent trend of with Milan during a Champions League week, and we saw it, and that's why they faltered so much just last season. Earlier in 2023, was they don't know how to play with a Champions League match coming up, and I think that's a reflection of the manager. You saw that? I tried not putting that in there. Damn it. I just tried not doing that. It's usually fallen just a default thing. I didn't think that would pop up. Um, duly noted though. You live and you learn, right? Jose, why is Simic on the bench? Simic is on the bench because he is someone who hasn't played professional football at the Serie A level, like this. So yeah, um, don't see how this was supposed to go. Um, just not a good time. Let's see. Bonetti has something as to what he thinks Milan should do.
Let me just say, because I've said it, but people don't want to listen. I think Milan should move on from Stefano Pioli.
Yeah, he's just saying this. Yeah. This is exactly, and I agree with what he's saying. Yeah, you're talking about Calabria. Yeah, of course, Calabria can't be a. It's just you're expecting more from your captain. It's just really garbage. It's just garbage levels. That's all. So I'm not really surprised by any of that. I'm not even happy to win this. I mean, sorry, I'm not happy to lose this. Like some people take this as a win. I don't understand people who live in that reality. There are no real options. There's no real options. Anyone who thinks, not saying you think there is one, John, by the way, just there aren't. We go through this like on a consistent basis. Win, lose, draw, everything. Same old, same old. They're not going to move on from the manager until the summer at the very least. It's just not a thing that's going to happen. It's wishful thinking for those who do want Pioli out as a manager. I don't think they will do it. I don't dislike the guy. I don't have any disdain against him. I think he's a decent manager, but football is cyclical. Life is cyclical. When you have, this sort of era winding on down of Pioli where his tactics are running dry, his voice in the dressing room might be getting tired. It's just stuff like that. And again, this shifts back to Redbird. Um, this is something that they need to address. They need to fix this, and they need to make sure that the hire of the new manager is a very good decision and something that leads to a new era for Milan. Right now, you don't sit there and say you feel positive heading into next summer, or even January for that matter. I don't think fans are going to get excited or happy about additions that are like Juan Miranda and like Gabia returning from loan and an unknown Serbian teenager that they're signing on a free transfer. Popovic again. It's not to say I've seen a lot of him. We're trying to get a guest on for that when that deal goes through. But when you see something like that, you try and you try and hope for the best, but you kind of also don't trust this club and the way they develop really young talents. There's too many question marks, and especially after winning a Scudetto, this is the type of situation that you're going to deal with. We deserve better, bro. I thought that was an Inter logo for a second. You have me terrified. Who would you want at the helm next? I mean, realistically, I don't even know. I don't even know because realistically, it's just like realistically, like you don't even know what Milan would go for. Like Thiago Motta would probably be my number one choice out of all the Serie A managers that would be looking to take a leap. Thiago Motta is the only one, the only person Italiano. I like him. I respect him as a manager. I just don't think Milan is the club for him. Also, stylistically, I don't even know if Thiago Motta would be someone that they would look for. I think they want someone along the lines of the same thing that Pioli does. I don't think Abate is also somebody that they're going to be bringing in. So again, I think they're really put into this weird space and weird conundrum that they can't hire a top next manager because they are not willing to pay someone a good amount of money. I just think this is what happens when you're stingy, and being penny pinchers. The reality of this is you're AC Milan. You're one of the biggest clubs in the world. You just won a Scudetto. You just went to a Champions League semifinal, and it's met with minimal investment. Not oh yeah, we have to do all this. It's met with minimal investment, and I don't want to hear about oh they spent 120 million on the look at who they purchased. That's the reality. It's who they purchased and who they thought would take them to the next level. They did not get players that take them to the next level guaranteed. They didn't do that. They got players in there that had some upside and hopefully that they develop into something more. And they got that with the manager who is not overly great at developing young players. Pioli does a somewhat decent job, but then you see the downside of him with not figuring out how to use a guy like CDK. Not to say CDK is great. We see his terrible finishing, but it's just about putting players in the best position to succeed and develop over the course of time. I don't think he's that great like that, honestly. I don't want Palladino. I don't like that. David, so when I heard Redbird was looking for investors, I knew not to get excited. Do you see them? If the stadium plans don't go through, I don't know what to tell you about sale. I think that makes them less likely, to be honest with you. I think they're just going to go back to, you know, qualify for top four, reinvest. I never agreed with like this minimal reinvestment. I was always on the idea of okay, just because you can't hit 60 million in the red for FFP purposes, right? Because that's what it is. So Milan within a financial window of 1 year can't go minus 60 million. Okay, we know they already went for profit, so they're looking good when it comes to that. Like half 500K more for a Turan. A little bit more to pay for, Romagnoli to stay. We're going all in on a striker like Joe that we talk about. 40 million for Jonathan David with 1 year left it's not ambitious, it's more reckless and risky. You know what's going in for something is breaking your transfer record for a really top young striker that is ready to make the leap to a bigger club, or something like that. It's also going for a guy like Julian Alvarez, where it would have been the perfect fit for this club. Can play right wing, could play striker. No, they don't do that. Look at these striker options. It's either an infant like Popovic and Lazatic, or you go for someone that's ancient. Like there's no like, hey, let's pay up a little bit more to get to Remy. Stuff like that is just infuriating to me. Not really working the market and paying up commissions to agents. Listen, I don't want to pay the moon to certain agents for players to try and get them to sign. I don't think that's a sustainable thing. But at some point you have to pay up. Welcome to the modern game. You have to pay agents crazy commissions at times. You have to pay a little bit more for player salary to get them to play at a club. because they're getting crazy offers elsewhere. And if you're a club that's kind of like floundering in Serie A and wouldn't have been able to get to the next level in like, well, like, listen, the team finished fifth, okay? And they thought, yeah, we could just invest like this. We'll sell off a guy like Tonali. We'll do this, we'll do that. They wouldn't have had Tonali this year, right? It's just, to me, and I'm rambling at this point and I'm tired because it's just repetitive and Santangelo not here. Put it this way: you will not get to the levels and the heights that you want this club to reach if you keep on going about the business the way you go about business. It's just not going to happen. And people think that I was a Redbird apologist. I was never a Redbird apologist. What I said was you have to wait until how they see business and do business. This is not the business that a club like Milan needs to do. They're financially healthy. It's one thing in 2017 over the summer where it's 300 million and you're like, okay, yeah, well, it makes sense that, we're playing this very risky game where we haven't qualified for Europe in consecutive years. Like Milan have qualified for top four in multiple years in a row now. And the budget didn't get to the level it needed to. You hear about all these sponsorship renewals and this and getting money together for a stadium and how they want to go do that. Listen, you're going to get run out of town if it goes south. You're going to get run out of town if it goes south. And I'm not saying I want that to happen. I want this club to succeed. I don't give a shit where an owner comes from. I don't care what the background is. I just want to see this club thrive. And I think there's many reasons as to why they're not and as to why they're not going to for a little bit. So yeah, I don't really think there's much left to say with this. I know there's a couple more comments here that I'm going to try and look at as well. Santangelo text. What did he say? Santangelo just says we suck. So that's all you guys are going to get out of him. So it's not a big event. Sorry, baseball stuff. Pioli will not get set. Well, that's till his contract expires. No, don't agree with that. But you got that prediction. That's yours, Ballers TV. Thanks for tuning in. Edgar says, what does he say? Stingy will need to be willing. So, yeah. It really was part of it. They didn't offer us much. You keep talking about a striker. No, okay, Terrence. Listen, buddy, listen. Maybe you're new to the channel. Maybe you're not. Okay? I don't want to get angry, but I just repeat myself a lot. I want all that shit. Motherfucker. And I'm not calling you motherfucker. I'm talking in general. I want a central defensive midfielder. I want an elite center back. I want a top tier experienced center back. I don't want a 20-year-old getting in there. But I also want a striker too. But that's the reality of it and how many holes this team has. And that's why I constantly say they need to do this. They need to do that. Like, this isn't new. That's what I'm saying, man. I say this all the time. I say it every week. Every week. It's the same thing. And I'm not saying you don't know Terrence or not. Like, I'm just letting you know I've said this for God knows how long. I'm sure the chat could tell you the same thing. I ask for it on a consistent basis. Matt agrees with me. The chat does too. We all agree. We're all on the same page. Yeah, but I mean, listen, I would have maybe tried to get Simic some minutes, Ballers. Maybe not start, but like some minutes. I agree with you. But again, this is also like management's fault. We're not getting the backup left back. You're not doing it. You're not doing it. You're not trying to fill the holes that you have. You have a left back that loves to run and get up the pitch and do all these things, but at the same time, he's going to get tired because he's playing 50 games a year. When he's playing 50 games a year, how are you going to expect him to do great? Okay? How are you going to expect him to maintain that level of elite play? It's not going to happen. Not going to happen. That's not how things work. All right? It's real. This isn't FIFA where you just rest a guy and then he comes back. He has full bar. All right? Not the reality of the situation. Thank you, Anthony. I would agree with this, Enrico, with the Pioli ladder. I try not to be too harsh. P. Morton, Europa League, yeah, we'll see. Okay, so it looks like we got some Vitiello stuff. So we have comments from Pioli. When you concede 3 goals, it means we didn't work well as a team in the defensive phase. Heavy defeat. On Leao, he should be fine. He'll join the team tomorrow. The next few days will be important. Whatever that means. That's not an update on Leao. I'm sorry. That's not. Um, we are very lucky that Tamori is ballers. I didn't want to say that. I don't want to address things like that, but yes, you're 100% right. You're 100% right. Like I'm not even going to argue. Not even going to argue. Not even going to argue with this. It's just the reality of it. Hey, Minez. Love you, man. I'm so fucking tired. I'm sorry, guys. I'm really trying to bring energy as best I can. I'm just like groggy, bro. I was standing in the cold last night. Uh, um, American, would you be worried about standing in the team? What do you mean? He's a starter. What are you worried about? He's a starter and he's producing. Maybe I'm misunderstanding what you're asking. I mean, Musa and Pulisic progress. Oh, with Pioli left? One sec, Joel, John, I'll get to you. This is just too early to worry about. But I think they're going to just get somebody that, fits with the players that they have, I don't think they're going to bring in a manager like Conte, for example, where it's like a 3-5-2 when he's trying to put in this sort of formation that doesn't fit Pulisic. You know what I mean? Like I don't think they would do that. I don't think they would invest in all these players and their skill sets just to get a manager who doesn't work with that. If that makes sense. You know what I mean? But if they do that, then it's worse than we all thought. Then it's directionless. Who are we gonna play against Monza in the defense with Calabria out? I don't know. You got to see who's available at center back. You got to see who's available at center back. Kier maybe a return. Man, I miss Christian Zapata, bro. No, I don't. I don't think it's Chelsea's a totally different animal on their own, man. Pulisic is healthy, and that's all that matters. As long as Pulisic is healthy, there's no one that's going to really be taking his job at that position. So I really wouldn't worry about it. Yeah. See, of course, you forgot Kier. He says, "Heck, you not." you know. Um, I gotta say, I appreciate everybody coming in here, hanging out, talking, conversation. There's still a lot of you. We got more people. We keep climbing. Again, if you guys haven't already, you have to subscribe to the channel to get in chat. I assume most of you have been. Only 27 likes. If we could get to at least 35 likes, maybe 40, that would be amazing. Again, it really helps the channel more than you guys realize. I don't believe this Musa position worked well. They got too many box to box midfielders, and they're asking them to be double pivots or defensive midfielders. It's a problem. It's a problem. It's a big issue. Okay, it's just they ask Adley to be a defensive midfielder, not a defensive midfielder. They asked Ismail Benacer to be a defensive midfielder. He's not. Right. Same goes for Krunic. Same goes for Pobega, Loftus Cheek, Reinders, Musa. Not a single one. Not a single one is a defensive midfielder or a regista. Okay. Okay. So, like, what do people want? I really just don't get it. I think Reinders as well playing out of position, but it's not even a positional thing today. Today's just garbage. Just a bad play thing. With that. I love how some people cannot hold the manager accountable in this kind of situation. Um, damn. After this stream is done, you going over to the Old Hearts channel, Joel. I'm probably gonna take a nap. I love. If everyone, when this stream wraps up, go over to him. I don't think I could send people there except by just telling you. But bro, I'm ready for a nap, Joel. And I'm drinking coffee right now. I'm ready for a nap. All right, my eyes are exhausted. My body done with this. The last time we won in the league We won in the league. We won in the UCL a couple days later. Hopefully, the same thing happens. Delusional is all we have this year. I get you, Tomas. Yeah, yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, thanks, Terrence. 86 people. How do more people keep joining? You make me want to stay in here longer. There's not much. Yeah, a raid. Thank you, Game Central. Yeah, I don't know how to raid. Are you even able to raid another channel? I don't think you can on here. Hansi Flick, Brian. It's not Milan hiring a non-Italian manager. First of all, um, I don't think it's beyond this management. I don't think they care about the Italian side of things. But I believe the last non-Milan manager was Seedorf. Or sorry, non-Italian Milan manager was Seedorf. Um, right? Because if we go all the way back to Ancelotti to Leonardo was technically not. He was an interim manager. Then Allegri. With Allegri was sheesh. What do we do? It was interim. Tassotti, I believe, was the interim. And then you go to Inzaghi, Seedorf. I think Seedorf replaced Allegri. Then it went Pippo Inzaghi, Mihailovic. I think it was Mihailovic. Now I think about it. Because it went like Mihailovic, Montella, uh, Gattuso, Giampaolo, and now this. I know. Yeah, I know what you're saying, Tomas. I know what you meant. Carnival, Bobby Carnival. No, yeah, they're not looking great, man. There's no argument against it. Yogi Low, no way. Unai Emery, he ain't leaving PL money. PL money. Listen, these PL managers ain't leaving unless you come in with a similar offer. That's it. That's it. Can you pull them away from certain clubs? Absolutely. With this club, you can. But if you want to act like it's that club, there's so many parallels to draw with the New York Yankees. Eventually, the pressure is on, and you have to make a decision where you flex and you say to yourselves, what are we doing here? We're one of the biggest clubs in the world. Let's act like it. Let's go big game hunting. Let's go for a top tier manager. Let's go and get a big time striker. Like, even if they would have taken the risk on Lukaku, they didn't want to do it because of his wage. It's 1 year. Just do it. Just do it. You know, people like didn't like if you're in talks for that, it just the Jovic at the buzzer when they kind of fired Maldini for similar things for making moves like that, but they're okay with Jovic last second, right? Like when they went for Astor Franks last second, they went for Serginho Dest at the buzzer at the end of the deadline. Like they were okay, they were upset at stuff like that. But then this Ralph Ragnick. Ralph Ragnick's a thing of the past. I also believe he manages Austria. Lukaku would have been perfect for us. Taking risk on guys like Dybala. They don't want to do it. They don't want to do it, guys. They don't want to do it. They don't. This is the way they operate. Oh, Rock Award's in here. Yo, bro, what's good? You were the one who asked for Emery. No. Good manager. He's done great with Villa. What ended up happening in that game? What happened with Arsenal? I saw Villa went up 1-0. Check Mob real quick. Oh, they won 1-0. Look at that. He gets revenge. They will need me. I will get them Mbappe. I mean, if you could pull that off, bro, raid your channel. 1-0 full time. Thank you. Yeah, so I think that'll wrap it up for me over here. Guys, go and check out Old Heart Rossonero, okay? Old Heart Rossonero. I'll pull them up. Here, watch. Whoops. Because I'm going to end the stream in a second here. Guys. Not Gold Heart. Is he live? He's going live in 18 minutes. Yeah, Bayern Chuck. Is there a good Italian right back in the league? No. not that Milan can get that I know of. I'm from New York. unless you're asking where my family is from in Italy. My mother is born in Roma, then came here. But my family's from Calabria, Roma, Napoli, and over in Sicilia. I fucked up saying Sicily. Old Heart does have a gold heart. He does. He's such a great guy. I know. Yeah, Diego, you could tell I need some rest. I look exhausted. I'm really sorry if the energy on the stream was low today, but I gave you guys 40 minutes. I gave you a 40-minute shift. But yeah, I appreciate all of you. Again, like, subscribe to the channel. Okay. Hope Philly's treating you well. Okay, Vancouver, bro. Early for you. Vancouver Grizzlies. Are they gonna come back? Sorry. Nice foot. Come on, stay in focus. There we go. Yeah. Again, like, subscribe to the channel. That Milan podcast. Tomorrow we're recording. I had internet issues for the longest of times. We couldn't record an episode. But again, we're gonna be talking about today's match and then the preview against Newcastle. Antonio from IFTV. I met Antonio. Maybe one day I'll try and talk to a couple people, see what I could get out of that. But again, appreciate all you guys. Sorry if the live was lacking a little bit in comparison to most. But again, you could go back, rewatch the entire thing. It's on the channel. You just have to go and click on the live tab and you can get in there. Appreciate everybody that's been in here. Diego, Calcio, Rock Award, Joel. I know Anthony was in here. Game Central, Wave. And again, I'm just David, as always. Tomas, Brian, Rogers. Let's see. Let's keep going. I just want to get people's name. Menez, I saw you in here at one point. Joseph Presta in here at one point, right? Lucky Sixth. John Simile. Is it, or do you pronounce it differently? I don't know. Jose Leon, P. Morton, Aman, Franco, Andy. Trying to get in as many people as I could with that. Again, Catania. Maybe one day. Appreciate you guys once again. Jeez, I can't even talk. Other than that, talk later.